Hi everyone, welcome to PowerShell for Penetration Testers at Pentester Academy. In this video, let's have a look at using and writing backdoors in PowerShell. In our various phases of penetration test, we saw how to get a foothold system, escalate privileges, enumerating domain, etc. Now we need to maintain our access onto some foothold machine in an environment or a target network. So let's have a look at a couple of backdoors from Nishant. The first one is DNS TXT pawnage. This backdoor uses DNS TXT records as a communication channel to receive commands, scripts and instructions from a DNS server whose text records we can control. This backdoor needs a bit of setup. For example, in this demonstration, I control the text records of alteredsecurity.com, and I'm using various subdomains of that domain to pass instructions to this backdoor. So let's assume that we execute it on a target. Then what happens? So it starts like this. This payload first of all queries this domain which is specified with the parameter start domain. This is repeatedly queried for its text records. Let's use Google's DNS server. So as you can see, the contents of the text record for this subdomain is start script. Now, other than this start domain, other parameters passed are command string, command domain, PS string, and the others. Since contents of start.alteredsecurity.com are equal to start script, the backdoor matches it with both command string and the PS string. If it matches with the command string, instructions in form of a PowerShell command are sought from command.alteredsecurity.com, and if it matches PS string, then a script is looked for from this domain. Since in our case the contents of start domain matches the PS string, there should be a script execution. Now there is a catch with this script execution as well, because a normal DNS TXT record contains not more than 256 characters. We need to split our script in multiple subdomains, and it is this subdomains parameter which specifies that. So now the scenario is that our backdoor looks for contents of this, it matches this, therefore it will query 1.script.alteredsecurity.com, 2.script. and 3.script.alteredsecurity.com. That is, it will query these subdomains 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on depending on this parameter. So the setup, I use zone edit for this setup. So the setup needs to be done prior to using it. Another thing is, for example, if we query the contents of 1.script.alteredsecurity.com. It contains a part of our encoded script, and that encoded script is nothing but get WLAN keys, which we saw earlier. Since it loads a function in the memory, we pass an argument as well. To convert a query in to convert a script or command in proper length, properly encoded and with proper length which fits in a text record, you can use out DNS txt from the utility directory of Nishank. We will not set it up because it takes a bit of time. DNS txt pawnage is also capable of exfiltrating results to Gmail, Pastebin, or to a web server which logs post requests, or to a DNS server which logs queries. First of all, let's run it this way and see if it executes get WLAN keys. Let's just run this. So it is querying this. The next, okay, so get WLAN keys has been executed. Note that I killed the payload manually by pressing Ctrl C. Otherwise, we can stop it by changing the contents of start domain to stop. Also, a word of caution: if you use auth ns, some IDS on a target network may find it suspicious. So if you do not want to frequently change instructions, you may not use auth ns. So this is a basic use of the DNS TXT pawnage backdoor. We can use exfil options with this. Let's quickly see if let's use a web server. With URL set to HTTP 168.254. So this is a test machine on. So this is what we used for the keylogger as well. So let's just remove test.txt. Now if we run this, note that it is waiting for more instructions, but let's just scale it by pressing Ctrl C, and let's see if we have anything here. Not yet. I think I killed it a bit early. Or okay, the web server was not running. So now we should be able to post encoded results to a web server which we control. Note that though it is HTTP here, we can always post it with the HTTPS request. As you can see, we do have an encoded result here, which we can quickly decode using the invoke decode utility. So this was executing commands and scripts with the help of DNS-TXT records. The next one to see is HTTP backdoor, which could be used to use HTTP or HTTPS URLs for command and script execution. So let's have a quick demo. Note that like DNS-TXT pawnage, it is also capable of various exfiltration methods. So let's use smaller ones so that we can have a look at it quickly, because I want to demonstrate DNS exfiltration, and if there is really long output then it takes time. So let me just use this URL as payload.txt with no arguments. And this should be fine. And let's use exfil option DNS with authns as 192.168.254.144, which is my local DNS machine. Now if I run this, it goes to this URL and checks if its contents equal start 123. Okay. So hopefully it has executed the script. Let's just kill it and see the tail of the query log. And if we have something fresh here, so as you can see right now, this is very not really polished code. You need to do many things manually. Still, let's quickly use invoke decode with this as a string. As you can see, the output of the whoami command, which was here at payload.txt, has been successfully decoded. So this way we can use various protocols for receiving instructions and exfiltrating the output. Hope you enjoyed this. If you are enjoying your time at Pentester Academy, please recommend us to your friends and colleagues in the information security community.